good evening, everyone. Welcome to At America. Ooh, I love the spirit. So, welcome everyone to At America. My name is Sadila. I am one of the e-guides here in At America, and I would like to welcome all of our audience joining us here with me and online. We hope that all of you are doing great and staying safe. For those of you who are new here, At America is the U.S. Embassy's American Center, and this is a place for everyone to learn more about the United States through our events, programs, facilities, and so much more. Our special event tonight is titled Tackling the Climate Crisis Inspiring Stories of Global Action. But before we start the event, I have here a little trivia question for those who are watching us online. And the question is, which of the following international agreements aims to combat climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions? Is it A, Paris Agreement, B, Kyoto Protocol, C, Montreal Agreement, or D, Rio Convention? You can submit your answers through our social media platforms, and for those of you who can be the fastest to answer it correctly, will get a live shout out from us at the end of our event. And now let us hear an opening remarks from Adrian Pascual Arans. He is from the Department of Geographical Sciences, University of Maryland, and he is also a 2022 NASA GEDI science team. To Adrian, the stage is yours.
All right. Thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you to the State Department, the Embassy, and everyone that has made this possible. Yeah, I'm Adrian. I work at the University of Maryland, and I work for a NASA mission. It's called JEDI. So we are here because we all care about what's going on and all of the processes that are affecting our ecosystems. I think right now we're in the best momentum ever to use remote sensing data to understand the processes that are shaping our Earth, our home, our planet. So personally, what I do for work is I use remote sensing observations to measure the height of the height of the trees. So with the mission, we are mapping the height of the forests all across the world over the past 4 years. We have been very lucky because NASA has extended our mission, so we will be collecting more data from the International Space Station. And this data that it's going to be, and it is available for everyone here, same as satellite data from Landsat and many other sources. That's going to be useful now, and it's going to be useful in the future. And I want to engage young people to jump in and bring new ideas to climate science, because I think that's very, very important. It's always good to hear stories, especially coming from young people, like how do they see what we do in earth sciences. And I hope that our data and our mission and what we are trying to do here, supporting the government of Indonesia in many aspects, is useful for us now, for the future. And I hope this climate change fight and all of this remote sensing technology that is available for us, it is inspiring for the new people, for the new generations to learn and try to do their best. So it's a pleasure to be here. It's been a long flight, but I totally think that the effort was worth it. So I'm excited to be here and to learn from your stories. And that's pretty much what I have to say. Thank you so much. Gracias, as we say in my home country, Spain. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you so much, Adrian, for the wonderful opening remarks. We are so glad to have you here. And now let us hear an opening remarks from the Vice Minister of Environmental and Forestry at the Ministry of Environmental and Forestry of the Republic of Indonesia. Everyone, please welcome Dr. Alu Dohong.
Teks kayaknya. Uh, Distinguished guys, speakers, and all participants of this very important meeting on Memoirs by Climate Reality Leaders ebook launch. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat malam, salam sejahtera untuk kita semuanya. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. This our gratitude goes to the presence of our God because of His grace, love, and power, so we can be here. I'm standing here in front of all of you in the event of launching e-book memoirs by climate reality leaders. I really appreciate effort made by Ibu Amanda Katsili and also the Climate Reality Project in Indonesia, especially the whole team, who work hard and to compile these memoirs as a means of climate communication for all of Earth inhabitant, especially for human being in this universe. And I'm also proud to be one of the authors of these memoirs. We hope this memoir can arise a public awareness of at first effects of climate change and also to find a proper solution in order to prevent them in the future. I emphasize in this opportunity that we must all be part of the solution. We not just ask others to do the solution, but we have part of it. Yeah, that's very important. Together, we must prevent global temperature rise from exceeding 1.2 degrees Celsius. In the Paris Agreement, we mentioned about 2 degrees Celsius. But now, based on the scientific research, even we have to move toward 1.5 degrees Celsius. So this thing is, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesian will keep continue to strive to lead by example to tackle this issue of climate change. Not too long ago, the government of Indonesia submitted, we call it enhanced NDC, to the UNFCCC, where we rise again our ambition from earlier 29% now to become 31.89% with our own effort. So this 31.89% actually equivalents about 15 million tons CO2 equivalent that we have to reduce by 2060. And we also increase from 41% to become 43.20% with international support. And this means or equivalent to 1.24 gigaton carbon CO2 emission that we have to reduce by 2030. So if we come up with this number, actually 1.2 gigaton is about 3 times of the UK pledge for the NDC by 2030. This is in line with Indonesia's vision to achieve net zero by 2060 or sooner. Conservation, restoration of Indonesia's natural asset, in particular peatland, mangrove, and other forestry sectors, is one of the major means to achieve this NDC. This increase of the pledge also in line with the progress of ministry's policies, including new policies on net, we call that follow netting by 2030, or forest and land use netting by 2030, where we hope by 2030 our emission from forest and land use sector going to picking up, and even we have to reduce up to 140 million tons CO2 equivalent below the what we call it a zero net things. Yeah, and also the development of green economy that currently being promoted by the government of Indonesia. Indonesia's Follow Netting 2030 commitment is important and real, as well as concrete, covering a lot of activities, ranging from policy and regulation, implementation, and also action-based activities in the field of, for example, like prevention of land and forest fires, deforestation, peatland restoration, conservation, and also biodiversity issues. That's all very important and strategic for this country. And for this reason, the engagement of all parties is a significant in optimizing this Indonesia's pollination by 2030. This the time for all of us, to take a real action in controlling climate change. You all can be part of it and make history to achieve it. We need to move faster and on a larger scale and work across sectors. So not just, sectoral based, but cross-sectorals need to work together. Because we are not just talking about the present, we only talking about the planet, also our legacy for the next generation. That's very important for all these young people. You see, I saw that like a senior high school or student, college. Oh, I thought this is like junior high school or senior high school. Oh, high school. Okay. You see, you will be, the players for the next coming decades, when Indonesia target to become a golden era, in 2045. All you to become a leaders. Yeah. So we have to create a legacy for the next generation, for the young generation, to have at least a similar environmental quality or environmental climate situation like what we are enjoying right now. Yeah? This thing is, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I hope that through this event, this can lead to increasing public awareness. Not only awareness, but action. That's the most important. We can raise everyone awareness, but if do nothing, so this means awareness is nothing at all. So I do hope increase awareness, also doing something real in the field, in our own action. Like writing a book about simple things about climate change, that also real action, right? So to convince other people, other stakeholders to work together, not to work separately, but work together in order to address all these kind of global issues, but also local issues, in particular climate change. So young people are the right people to voice these issues, but not only voice it, do it. Maybe if every of us here, every year just plant one tree, for example, that means a lot. Yeah, every one of us, every year, just plants one tree, for example. One tree, that means a lot for the climate. Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, a large number of young people today also will be very influential in protecting our nature for the future. So to end up my remarks, we hope that God can always bless us in doing something that very positive for the climate and also for the next generation, for serving our nation, but also serving the global community. That's all that I can say at this moment. I do hope everyone always in the positive thinking and work together, hand in hand, to address our global issues as well as local issues. So I end up by saying, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi Santo.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alu, for the empowering opening remarks. Can we give another big round of applause? We are truly honored to have you here, Pa, and I am pretty sure that everyone here is already excited to jump into our discussion tonight. So without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to our moderator. She is the director of the Climate Reality Project Indonesia. Everyone, please welcome Ibu Amanda Katili Nyode.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Katiliniode, the director of the Climate Reality Project Indonesia. I first have to read about Climate Reality's mission is to catalyze a global solution to the climate crisis by making urgent action a necessity across every sector of society. Thank you, all of you, for being here. Also, friends online, Pak Wamen, Pak Vice Minister, thank you so much. Adrian, thank you so much for coming. And I would like to personally thank the high school student from SMK 58. Please raise your hand. There are many of you, they come by a bus provided by At America, so thank you. And we have scouts. Where are you, scouts? Pramuka, Indonesian Scouts Movement. And of course, my fellow climate reality leaders. Please raise your hand. Yeah, raise your hand high. There are many of us. To start our event, let's have Ari Wijanarko, the Climate Reality Indonesia's Policy Advocacy Manager, who will loosen up a bit.
All right, so give a big hand applause for all of us. Okay, before we start to launch the ebook, we would like you to please stand on your feet, please. Silakan berdiri. I would like you to loosen up a bit, moving around a bit. Saya minta teman-teman, I would like to ask all of you to grouping, okay, berkelompok. Berdasarkan petunjuk dari saya, according to my instructions. Now, I would like all of you who like the same color to create one group. Silakan cari kelompok, buat kelompok berdasarkan warna kesukaan. So you can shout out the colors of your like. Mine is green, mine is blue. Yes. What's your favorite color? Pink, okay. Get to know each other. You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.5. Okay, I'm gonna check now. I'm gonna check. The favorite color? All of you greens? All right. Kalian? Blue? Ini? This one? Also blue? Blue, okay. Correct. Blue juga? Black, okay. Black over there. Now over here. Warna kesukaan? Blue, there's blue over there. So yeah, you're on the wrong place then. Blue. This one? Yellow, okay. Ini nggak ada hubungan sama Coldplay kan? Oh, no, ya bukan, okay. This one? Brown. This one? Black. We also have black there. Okay, now let's move again according to the size of your shoes. Ukuran sepatu. Ukuran sepatu. Okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oke, kita cek dulu, 41, 41. 40, 40. Sebelah sini 45. Oke. Oke, teman-teman, silakan duduk kembali. Terima kasih. Semoga menyenangkan. I hope you had fun and enjoy a little bit. So, now I return the time and stage to Ibu Amanda.
Thank you, Ari. So Ari is the Policy Advocacy Manager of Climate Reality Indonesia. We also have our Community Action Manager here, Ibu Arifa, please stand up. And we have our advisor, Ibu Tantri Sucipto, please stand up. Thank you all for coming. Did I miss anybody? I'm sorry if I miss anybody. And now it's time for, while the Vice Minister is here, it's time for us to have our ebook launching. We published the book in hard copy 1 year ago in several languages, Spanish, English, Indonesian. Right now, it's all translated into English by Awi Chin. Is Awi here? Agung Wijayanto, is he here? Nope, he said he will be here, but he's the translator. So I think the translation, the English translation is much more beautiful than the other languages. I would like to invite Pak Vice Minister, Pak Alu, and also Adrian to come up on stage for our ebook launching. And the publisher of this book is Dio Media, and the CEO is Ngadio. He's joining us online as well as other. Now we are ready to launch. Drum roll, please. It's too short. I think the drum roll is too short. So, because they want to keep us on time, Pa. So that's why it's very short. So thank you, Pa Alu. We would like you to kindly say a few words to formally launch the book while we already have that link as well as the QR code for those who would like to access the book right away. And it's free, Pa Adrian. We can access it from all over the world, and it's in English. So, Pa, if you would like to say a few words to launch it, because you launched the Indonesian version last year at COP in Sharm el-Sheikh. Now we are asking you to launch the English version of the ebook.
All right, thank you, Ibu Amanda and all participants here and also online with us right now. With you all, with blessing from God and also from you all, I officially launch ebooks, memoirs by climate reality leaders. Today, in this America, on
5th of July.
5th of July 2023. So, thank you.
Thank you. Drum roll again, if possible. Okay, no drum roll this time.
Touch it or not? Huh? Touch, okay.
Okay. Now, we would like to have a photo of Pa and Adrian, if you don't mind, with tumpeng. Tumpeng is an Indonesian traditional food. This is a yellow rice with side dishes. It's a symbol of our gratitude for the blessings that we have. So let's have a photo op. And Pak Ari and Arifa and Bu Tantri, please come up here. And we have to have a sign at America, right? Yeah. Oh, Bapak yang pegang. No, it's a photo op, Pak. If you can tilt it a bit so the photographer can see the tumpeng.
Okay. Okay.
At Amerikanya nggak pakai. At Amerikanya nggak pakai.
Sign at America.
The sign? Because usually photo op has to have a sign at America sign.
Sini, sini. Okay.
Berat. Berat ya, Pak?
Enggak juga.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll enjoy this later on.
Ini nggak cukup kalau dimakan.
Cukup.
Okay. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Ini advisor Pak Komisaris Bank. Ya. Sudah diumumkan. Okay. Thank you. Pak Alu has another engagement. Thank you again, Pak. Adrian, if you still want to stay, that's okay too. We hope the picture is good and it will be uploaded at many social media. And right now, I would like to invite, thank you, Pa. Thank you, Pa. Thank you. So we'll begin our talk show, but before that, let's focus because we are too agitated, moving around and having that tumbang and smiling. Now let's focus for the talk show. I would like to invite you to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the presencing. We try to focus with today's event. And we have 4 speakers for the talk show. There are 3 in the United States, in the eastern part of the United States, and 1 here in Jakarta, Indonesia. So Darren, would you please come up? So Darren will accompany me on stage. I would like to invite Leah Sakia. She's a PhD student from George Mason University and joining us from the state of Virginia. Hi, Leah.
Hello, Amanda. Hi, Darren. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Kakak Leah. Please begin.
Okay. I hope you can all hear me well. Maybe a little bit delayed, but I will continue. So I'm Leah. Right now, I am in Virginia, near Washington, D.C., and I'm now studying climate change communication, PhD at George Mason University. I have a limited time, but I would like to share some of the learning that I have gained from my study here about climate change and climate change communication. If you go to the next slide, please. Yes, so climate change, like Professor Ed Maybach, my professor, my advisor to here, he's an expert in climate change communication, and he and the team has tried to simplify climate change because it can be overwhelming, right? It can be something that is complicated concept to grasp, especially for for everyday people that don't have work in the area of climate change. But I guess that's all the information spread out in the internet. You could probably get, a lot more information, but sometimes it can be confusing too. So this is like some of the things that we in the center has tried to like communicate. First, climate change is real. Could you please go to the next? It is real. So I first found out about about climate change issue in around 2010 or so, when I was still finishing my bachelor degree, and from Al Gore's movie actually. So at that time I was like, whoa, this is real. And as normal human being that has internet connection, of course I went into a rabbit hole trying to like absorb all the information, and I was so shocked because like why is no one talking about this, and this is like basically existential threat. It's real, and especially now we experience more and more of the impact right in front of our eyes in our neighborhood. And then also probably you've heard of more news right now about that, but it has been going on since a long time ago actually. But like it's kind of slow for us to understand it, and I think that's one of the important thing to note is issue this big, but not really many people, not everyone knows about it. And when someone heard about it, they don't really know what climate change is, but it is real. And it made me scared and also angry. So the one that I've learned from school is that emotion play a big part in making people go into action, right? So I was scared. I was like angry too, because like this is real, but like no one is talking about it. And no one is like doing meaningful action about it. We're like going to, destroy ourselves with this. So it kind of like make me want to go into action, because like I was studying business and marketing. So I'm I'm trying to sell stuff. But like, so I don't know anything about climate change. I don't have any education, like formal education about climate science. But I keep on learning about the issue, joining all the online actions, subscribing to newsletter, immersing myself, talking to people that understand more. And when I took my master degree, my thesis in public relation, my thesis was about climate change communication. So emotion is important, and also the second one, it is us. So I found out that it is from human action. You and me, everyone has contribution to this. But I also found out that this is a more systemic issue as well. So it's really good that you can plant tree, and then you save water, and then you turn off your light, etc. But it's also important for us to take collective action to change the policies, to demand more action in a systemic system. So be more active in politics. You're on high school. You probably have voting right next year. Yeah, so use that well. Find out who are the leaders, the politicians who care about climate change. Ask them questions. You're in TikTok or Instagram, raise this awareness, share to your peers that this is important, that we need to take this more seriously in a policy level. The next, um, and its experts agree, and then next one, please. And it is bad, not only for polar bears, but it's also bad for us human. Our coffee will be affected, the one who, or any of you who likes coffee, chocolate, all the food, fashion industry will be impacted. Everything will be impacted by this, because this is a very multi-connected, interconnected issue. And then it takes life as well, and then also ecosystem, water, flooding, water scarcity. So, so a lot of things, and health issue as well. A lot of things are exacerbated by climate change, but there is hope. Next one, please. Yeah. So if I was only scared and angry at that time, I wouldn't be taking action. I'm also a person who is like very optimistic, but also sometimes unrealistically optimistic. But I think it is needed, to face this challenge, to have that unwavering optimism, and just like I can do this, like we can together save the world. It is very important to garnish that one. So it needs to have a balance. Of course, it's probably can be tricky, but like along the line, you will find out, the balance between managing all these different emotions that are inside of you, and then making it as a fuel, as an engine for you to move out of your bed, out of your room, out of your house, to do real actions. Or maybe if you don't want to go out of the house, through your social media, sharing all the information, and then finding out, which are the potential leaders, which are the companies that do real actions, and then like really moving forward towards that to spread more awareness. And the next one is the one that me and the college in the center try to spread is the next one, please. Is to communicate climate change, it needs to be simple, clear messages, repeat it often because we forgot. And in the like sea of information right now in Instagram, in TikTok, Twitter, all the internet, it can be very confusing. So we need to repeat that often by a variety of trusted sources. And who are the trusted sources? It could be your peers, it could be you if you're trusted by your friends. It could be religious leaders, for example. Every Friday you go into Jumatan, right? So if like the imam can like tell stories about climate change, it could spread more awareness to more people in Indonesia. Also, this is the last one with compassion. I was I could be pretty annoying in the first few years when I started to know about this because I'm scared. I need to like do stuff about it. I'm angry and I'm just like badgering all my friends and family, like, you have to do this, like, quite annoying. Like SJW, zaman dulu ya, masih belum populer, sekarang sudah populer ya. But then I grew more compassionate, not only toward myself but also toward others, because maybe they don't know, maybe their income is dependent on not being sustainable, for example. So how are we going to take that feelings, that compassion, to engage with them, to try to understand where these people coming from, and then try to talk with them, with an open heart, with compassion, so that we all can be inclusive and together moving forward toward a sustainable, more resilient future. So I think that's from me, my 7 minutes. Hopefully, I'm not like um, to overtime. Bu Amanda, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Bu Amanda has been a great, mentor for me since the very beginning, actually, like she and Ibu Titi, almarhum, the one who found me that time. We're like trying to find out, like, where can I make my contribution in here? And then it's nice that they say, yeah, we need communicator in here. Oh, okay, well, I think I know one or two things about that. So thank you, Bu Amanda, and Climate Reality Project.
Thank you, Leah. Let's give a big round of applause. So Leah is a climate reality leader, and she used to work as our youth coordinator at the Climate Reality Project, but she's also a singer. Kak Leah ini penyanyi, and she's a salsa dancer as well. So communicating climate change not only the scientific aspect, bukan hanya sainsnya, tapi juga harus menyenangkan cara komunikasinya. Thank you. I hope you'll get your PhD soon and come back to Indonesia.
Thank you, Bu. Thank you, everyone.
Terima kasih Lia. Thank you so much. Next, I would like to invite Dina Sabrina. Dina is working at one of the state-owned company in Indonesia. She's also a climate reality leader, and she's now pursuing a master in sustainability at Columbia University. So she's now based in New York. So thank you, Dina. We would like you to talk about corporate climate communication if possible.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bu Amanda and Climate Reality Project Indonesia, also at America. I'm happy to be here with all of you on site and also virtually. I'm currently in New York. I'm pursuing master's degree in sustainability management at Columbia University. I have engineering background, actually, environmental engineering, but here I'm gonna share about corporate climate communication, but I need to disclaimer, I'm not a communication specialist or expert in the industry, but I also joined the training from a climate reality leadership training back in 2019. So I'm happy to share about corporate climate communication. Yes, so I would like to share first, like what's the atmosphere out there for corporations about climate communication. We're more like communicating climate-related risks and goals. First, we can divide it into three things here. Like three things would be the top of mind of communicating climate change, climate crisis also, and all the solution between corporations. First, the firm level carbon emission or GHG emissions. For example, here, scope 1 and scope 2 for the operation, so directly the emission that emitted from the corporation operation, and scope 3 between the supply chain from the downstream and upstream. After the corporation know where we are, the level of emissions we have, we need to have the target to decarbonize here, and also the commitment to achieve that. As Alu mentioned, first we have NDC, we have the target, and corporation can contribute themselves there. For example, they can answer all the, here we have example from global climate questionnaire and the response here from CDP. After we know where we are and what's the actions towards the solution to that, we have the science-based target. We can dig more online after, and also GRI for the disclosure, what the corporation do along with on their environmental management and also social. And here in Indonesia, we have proper from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, the tools, assessment for the corporation to, disclose what they have managed on the environmental and also social aspects. And after we disclose everything, we can do benchmarking. Like here, I have one example from MSCI. We can search any companies in their climate search tool. They're basically a service company regarding investment, but we can see all the companies there. How do they align their climate action, climate target towards the 1.5 degree target? And last but not least, the disclosure related to that. It can also have the financial impacts. The disclosure can trigger the improvements. The improvements per se also can create innovations that can do cost reduction, potential cost reduction, and also new stream of revenue from innovation, and also less positive reputation because now about climate change, climate action, the climate transition in the corporation become investor concerns, and also a company who do right things for the environment and social and climate action specifically will give a very positive signals to the stakeholders, specifically here investors, and it's really important for a corporation. And here I'm about to tell one of example, like along my journey in the corporation and how can climate actions conducted in companies. Actually, I'm pretty lucky because I work for a company that manage their environmental and also social impacts here, specifically carbon emission and also energy. So in my first location for my assignment in this company, I had an idea with my senior there. So we talk about how we can contribute more to the carbon reduction and also climate solution. We initiated a small-scale on-grid solar PV installation in our office. It's very, very small, but you can tell your story from there. And then I joined the training. I have all the materials from the climate reality, what climate change. So I could share the result from the project there in the unit, in the operation unit in East Java, but also included our own example here, the small scale project. It's more relatable for them because it's also important for them. So I really agree with Kalia before that we can communicate with compassion, not talking much about what we have to do out there, like bigger things, but we can start very small in our place, in our company that we work for. And actually, all the results turned out great. And then we have all the data, we have all the impacts, we have the objective backgrounds that follow the ministry decree and also NDC. We can contribute, and then we can publish externally. And that's little evidence can help us, to talk more in the company that we can do things more in this area, to have the climate solutions. And the result is we got the bigger capacity of solar installation approved because of that small project that we initiated at first. So the impact not only for environmental, of course, for environmental aspects for climate change, but also reputational side for the company is also important. So this project also, or this initiative also serve that. And business bottom line, it's always important for many corporation, like how we can reduce the cost and also have revenue for the business. So that's my story. This is pretty, I would like to share between internal and external because in my experience, it's really important, to prioritize communicating the climate solution, the climate crisis to our colleagues there because we really want to have the same vision here. So corporate climate communication for internal objective is to building the awareness, to do the knowledge transfer, and also to build a collective effort towards that. And it is beneficial because we will have more exposure, more conversations, and it will build a sense of collective responsibilities, and it's easy to do cross-function collaboration. And at the end, it will unlock the potential for climate action, more and more climate actions from the companies. And if we have a strong foundation and internally in the corporation, in the company, it's not going to be difficult, to communicate things what we have done or what we're planning to do to the external stakeholders. So the objective is to communicating climate-related efforts between compliance or maybe voluntary climate disclosures, and also we can use our communication material as all the data for benchmarking among the industry, and then eventually it will be beneficial for our company because we build the progress tracking system. We are becoming more transparent, and also it will offer new collaboration opportunities with external stakeholders because we all know that we cannot do it alone, and eventually the positive reputation, the signaling before it, as I mentioned in the first, it's really important for the companies, for corporations.
Thank you
Last
so
but not
much.
least,
Dina, you still have some more?
This is the last piece of mine. It's actually the simple steps, Bu Amanda. So first, just feel the drive within yourself and look for the easiest but most interesting. And then you can find the partners in the companies and look for the opportunity to share because it's really important to share because somebody will, follow the steps and then replicate the project or the solution. And it's going to be easier for external communication as well. Find the opportunity, start collaborating, choose the proper platform, and also find joy in communicating about that topic. Start somewhere, act with kindness, as Kalia also said before, with compassion, and repeat. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. So Dina's article and Leah's articles are in the book, in the ebook as well. You can access and read what they wrote. Please stay for questions and answer, Dina and Leah. And we'll have our speakers later, 2 more speakers later. But since this is an interactive event, we would like to invite you to participate in our Mentimeter questions. Jadi nanti ada pertanyaan, please go, silahkan masuk ke menti.com, lalu masukkan kodenya 12007858. There will be questions, akan ada pertanyaan, dan we would like to have your input. Kami ingin sekali mendapatkan input dari teman-teman sekalian. Jadi ada pembicara-pembicara hebat, tapi teman-teman di sini juga semua hebat. Bisa memberikan masukan bagaimana sih kita bercerita, bagaimana kita action dan lain sebagainya. So what's the first question? What are the best ways to communicate climate action? Apa cara terbaik untuk kita mengkomunikasikan tindakan-tindakan kita, aksi iklim kita. Boleh jawab bahasa Indonesia, silahkan. Bahasa Inggris juga boleh, in English or in Indonesian. What are the best ways to communicate climate action? Bagaimana sih caranya kita mau cerita, oh ada masalah ini, oh kita akan berbuat ini, oh begini caranya. Oke, kita lihat. Oke, through social media. Find nearest problem, apa masalah yang dekat dengan kita? Banyak. Kampanye, campaign, bercerita, storytelling, pendidikan. Can you help me say what they are?
Yes.
And in bahasa Indonesia too. Fast.
Suara di sosial media, melalui edukasi, publikasi, bikin seru, make it fun. Makanan, food, hobi, menurut hobi.
Oh, pakai hobi. Ada langkah realistik, TikTok.
Kampanye membersihkan pantai.
Oke, newsletter.
Start
Apalagi?
early, mulai dari dini.
Ini nanti semua dikumpulkan karena banyak meskipun mereka yang berkecimpung dalam bidang perubahan iklim nggak ngerti loh ada cara-cara seperti ini. Some people, although they are so involved with climate actions, they are out of the box thinking that you might put up there. Ada lagi? Arts, good. Realistic steps.
With love language.
Wow. How do you do that? How?
We'll leave it to the audience.
Okay, so I think that's enough. Whoa, 91 responses. Can we have 100? Those listening from online, maybe you can have some more so we can have 100 responses maybe later on. But what's the second question? What are the notable challenges in climate communications? Apa saja tantangan-tantangan utama dalam kita mencoba mengkomunikasikan perubahan iklim? Climate deniers, mereka yang tidak percaya perubahan iklim, bosen, betul boring, lack of awareness, human behavior, gaining people interest. Come on, more, only 14 responses? 21? Darren, would you please read it?
Feel so far away, berasa jauh. Pikiran manusia or mindset. Hard to understand. Tidak percaya, climate deniers. Data
IDK.
interpretation.
I don't know, ada yang tulis IDK. I don't know katanya. Saya nggak tahu apa tantangannya. That's a good answer actually. That's why you are here, right?
Inconsistency.
Males mendengarkan, emang iya sih ya. I hope you are not bored here.
Karen.
What else? How many? 99. Oh, good.
103.
Okay, good. Okay, that's it. Do we have another question or can we just stop at question number 2? Okay. So we have the Mentimeter. And now we'll go to our next speakers, which is you, Darren. Oh, there's one. Tell us the strategies to overcome climate communication challenges. Gimana caranya kita mengatasi tantangan untuk bercerita tentang perubahan iklim? Ada nggak strateginya gimana? Share the same feeling, make it interesting. Okay, be honest, jujur. Come on, Darren. Say something.
Repeat. Dari diri sendiri. Start from yourself. Aksi nyata. Brave. Feedback. Berlatih. Make it fun. Make it happy. Make it interesting. Nice words.
Talk compassionately. Entertaining videos.
Self-confidence. Commitment.
Dahar itu apa, makan ya? Eat. Pada lapar ya? It's 7:30, it's dinner time actually, and somebody said that he or she is hungry.
By yourself. Word of mouth.
Bismillah. Okay. Oh, this is so nice. This is so unique. We wouldn't be able to get these responses among climate leaders, right? Okay, I think that's enough with the Mentimeter. We'll go on with our next speakers. Darren. So Darren Radian, his name is Darren Radian, went to high school in the United States. Now he's representing youth climate reality leaders. So Darren, tell us about your climate action.
Thank you so much, Bu Amanda and Climate Reality Project Indonesia, as well as at America for the opportunity. My name is Robertus Darren Radian. I usually go by Darren, and I'm 22 years old. So a little bit about my background that Bu Amanda just mentioned. I went to Idlewild Arts Academy in California, and I'm a full-time performer. I do theater. Yeah, I do also sing like Alia. But here, I'm on behalf of youth and Climate Reality Indonesia. I want to share with you all here tonight and those who are online about our flagship programs. So maybe just a little bit of information. Climate Reality leaders in Indonesia, we have up to 1,022 members, and 50% of them are the young people. So probably mostly all of you here. And 25% of them, or more so, they are active, and these are the 4 programs that we are working on right now. So just to start off, the first one, I'm just gonna list it down. The first one is Climate Hero. The second one is Youth Leadership Camp for Climate Crisis. The third one is Climart. And the fourth one is International Collaborations. Okay, for the first flagship program of Youth Actions by Climate Reality Indonesia. It's a comprehensive workshop that educates and empowers youth scouts. Can we give it up for the youth scouts here? Woo! On climate crisis and its challenges. They are encouraged to take actions in their regions as an outcome of the program, and they too are expected to become responsible and proactive individuals motivated to make impacts. So they are being educated and shared the importance of climate crisis through our Climate 101 presentation that is unique to Climate Reality, of course. And also we gave them the KWL, Known, Wonder, and Learn objectives in those programs. So I think you guys are familiar with that. And yeah, as an outcome, they have to find a problem that is in their area and take the first step of trying to solve the problem as little as possible. And then to our second, which is I think the more, maybe the first one, Climate Hero, is more new, but the second one has been going on for quite a while. And it's called Youth Leadership Camp for Climate Crisis, or YLCCC as we shorten it. So YLCCC, what is that? Is that groups of youth, they registered to go to this camp for like 3 days and 2 nights, where they actually get together, in an on-site format, and then they would have field trips as well. So what they're learned in Climate Hero, like they would also learn it in YLCCC with Climate 101, and also they will learn about getting connected with the locals in that area. For example, last time we had the Just Energy transition, and they learned a lot from the locals there and from the youth over there, and they created this dialogue where I think it is very important for youth to know what's happening, the involvement of people there in the village or in whatever area that they're currently in. And as the outcome of this program, they have to make this concrete 10-week action plan, which is guided by our own mentors, which is from Youth Climate Leaders. So we make sure that their plans are on time and they have concrete results from there, whether it's working or not, but the important thing is for them to start and just to do it and get people involved. On to the next program, which it's called Climart, which I'm most passionate about as well. It's combining climate and art. So coming from an art background in theater and in singing and dancing, this is the most fun, I think, when I went to Climate Reality, because I came here in 2020, right? Graduating as an alumni of the Climate Leader. And this is one of those program that we combine and climate with art through different mediums. For example, music video, or song covers, or poems. Yeah, and then for visual arts as well. So this is more for those who are passionate in the arts. This is like the perfect program for them, especially if we're talking about youth and trying to communicate the importance of climate change. It is usually more effective when we use art, because it takes people sympathy, and they're empathizing with the issue itself through art. And we are also promoting joyful activism as well. And then last but not the least, we have international collaborations, which I think is also important because I think having this inter-branch collaboration or joint effort opens up the perspective of the youth itself. Because, of course, we do care about the climate issues here in our country, in Indonesia, but we also would like to know what is happening, let's say in the Philippines, because they have a branch there, and then also in Canada. And so that's what we're trying to do with the international collaborations program, because we want to connect with them. We want to understand that climate change is everyone's issue. It's not everyone's is responsible for it, and everyone's is will be, or if not yet, will experience it in one way or another sooner or later. So that's what we're trying to do. And as you can see on the screen on the left, we collaborated with the Philippines on one of their Klimatotohanan, which means it's one of those webinars. And it's called Southeast Asian Forest, Our Roots. So this is where we shared our similar experiences and also the differences that we experienced as Southeast Asia countries. So those are the things we share: knowledge, strategies, and best practices. So that's the 4 flagship programs that we have currently in the youth programs. But if you are curious about our next event, which actually will be held this weekend on Sunday, it's part of the Climb Arts program. We have a documentary screening. It's going to be in Kino Forum if you've been in Taman Ismail Marzuki. But if you want to know more about it, yes, let's give it to the, I think Ka Aneta is here. She's the one who created the movie or the documentary. So Ka Aneta, can you stand up? Is she here in the audience?
She's busy running around.
But yeah, if you want to see her work of art, which is a documentary called Degayu, you should come and follow our Instagram at in Climate Reality Ina. And also the song covers and the music videos that I talked about, it's up on our YouTube channel. So go subscribe, Climate Reality Indonesia, as well as our Facebook and our website for our complete program for all of our programs. Thank you so much.
Big round of applause for Darren. Next, we will have Ethan Spener from Washington, D.C. Ethan, are you there? Ethan is the International Policy Senior Advisor at the Climate Reality Project. So he's at the, but you're in Philadelphia, right, Ethan?
That's right. Yeah, Philadelphia in the U.S.
Okay, so we would like to hear from you, Ethan.
Thank you so much. Can everyone see the screen okay?
Yeah, good.
I'll take that as a yes. Good. So thank you, Ibu. I am Ethan Spanner. I'm the International Policy Senior Advisor at the Climate Reality Project, but that's only been for about a week and a half. So prior to this, I was the International Director. We've shuffled around the organization a little bit. So I've worked very closely with several of the Indonesian climate reality leaders and the branch there. And what I want to talk about today is a little bit about how we build community at the Climate Reality Project, which is important to all of the programs and all of the efforts that you've already heard this morning. So first, just a little background on the Climate Reality Project. I know Ibu already said that our mission is to catalyze a global solution to the climate crisis by making urgent action a necessity across every level of society. And we're definitely emphasizing the action portion right now, as I'll get into. But the main way that we build the community is to host trainings. So Al Gore, many people have already been trained by him in one of our large trainings. And after you go through a training, you become a climate reality leader, which those of you who raised your hand earlier know all about. And then this is how we sort of take that forward, is that we are hoping to, and hopefully have at this point, created a critical mass of those leaders, of volunteers, of people who are willing to take the message forward, take action on climate change. And then we really try to build that momentum forward by providing resources, by providing connections, by helping cultivate the community and put things like Reality Hub where people can connect with each other. And all of this is to really emphasize reducing emissions, but also protecting the most vulnerable in the world who are vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. And this is new. So actually, in just a few minutes, Al Gore and our CEO and president, Phyllis Cutino, will be presenting this 2030 sort of action plan that we have to the climate reality leader community. So there will be a webinar soon. I'll hop on after I'm finished here. And there's also one, it will be, I think, 7 a.m. Tomorrow morning in Jakarta. So our 2030 goal really is to make sure that we are emphasizing what science tells us that we need to address the climate crisis, and that is reducing emissions by 45 to 50% below 2005 levels just by 2030. And then we have, another 50% to go to get to net zero by 2050, which is the goal for all of us. And then we definitely want to ensure that the most vulnerable in the world, like I said, can thrive in a true zero world. And this is how we plan to do it. So we'll continue to host our trainings, expand the climate movement. We have a very large goal for how many climate reality leaders that we are hoping to have as part of our community. We want to work on finance. I don't know if many of you saw, Al Gore last year in September called for the resignation or ouster of the World Bank president. And by now we already have a new World Bank president. So we are working on that fossil fuel, to end the fossil fuel financing, to build more funding for the just transition to clean energy. That also includes things, doubling adaptation finance, and just really trying to find different ways to expand the ability for countries like Indonesia to receive climate finance. There's, a just energy transition partnership already underway in Indonesia. That's one way that you can do it, but we'll be working on, several other ways. We also want to make sure that ambition is at its highest from world leaders. So what we really believe, and what I think a lot of us believe, is that we have the tools to address this. What we need is the political will and action from the public. Part of that action will be pushing or facilitating or helping world leaders understand the benefits of reducing emissions and increasing the commitment that they have already made. So the United States has a fairly lofty commitment for 2030. We want to be higher. We want, every country to have higher ambition. And then finally, there's a lot of noise that the fossil fuel industry makes about how good they are, how they're reducing emissions, how they have these green initiatives. If you look at it, they really don't. And so we want to expose those communications efforts that they're making to greenwash. And it isn't just the fossil fuel industry. It's also countries that are pushing to ensure that they can continue to produce and sell fossil fuels that, just as we know, is not what science demands to fix this problem. So this is sort of very basically how the Climate Reality Project aims to achieve these goals and go through that process to work on those issues. And that is recruiting more people into the movement. I think that something like ClimeArt is a really valuable tool for that, to speak to people and meet them where they are and say, here's a different way to think about the climate crisis. Here's something you can do about it. You can start by, next step, getting to a training and understanding more details about what you're going up against, the actions you can take. Third is to engage those individuals. That's what Ibu and the rest of the branch do every day, is to maintain that community, build that community, provide activities, provide opportunities for individuals to work with their leaders, work with decision makers to ensure that they're reducing emissions, that they're increasing the resiliency of the community, that food security is on par with what's necessary, etc. And then we want to mobilize those individuals, and that's actually taking those opportunities and working with people to ensure that that they are taking that action. This is sort of what it looks like for us. These are just levels that I'll go over in a moment. This is for climate realities purposes, but it's also sort of how you move up from someone who is just interested in climate change to someone who's actually taking ownership over the efforts. For us, these are the types of people. So if you just come to our website, if you just follow Al Gore on Twitter, or I guess it's X now, then you're an observer. And then it sort of moves all the way up. You know, you're a supporter, you become a member, you're working with your branch, you're working with some of your community. But if you are actually trained by us, we consider you a leader, you're a partner and part of our community, and we want to bring more people into this community. And finally, we have, you know, the owner, which is people like Ibu, people like our board of directors, and the climate reality leaders who have won a Green Ring Award, which is just a recognition of outstanding work in their own lives. For a climate reality leader, it looks like this. You know, you've maybe completed the training. So for you, that would be starting out as an observer. And then you sort of engage more with us, engage more with your community, engage more with the branch, and you move all the way up to supporting that program implementation. That is the mobilized portion of the circle that you saw earlier, and that's what our branches do. Why is this important? We want to make sure that things are consistent across the board so that people in Indonesia can work with people in the Philippines, people in Africa can work with people in Indonesia, et cetera. And we want to ensure that that community sort of stays whole, and that each, you know, grouping that you're engaging with is helping you become a better leader in the world, that is helping you achieve your goals of climate change advocacy or climate change action in your community. And then I did want to touch on, I know you'll hear a lot about the Indonesia branch, or a lot of you know about the Indonesia branch already. So I did want to highlight just another one that sort of shows what this looks like in action. So our Philippines branch, they have something called the Green Energy Options Program. That's not a branch program. That is a government program that helps companies and local governments switch their power to renewable energy. The branch then works with climate reality leaders to train other climate reality leaders, to train members of the public to how to sign people up to the Green Energy Options Program. They connect them with partners who then are working with the climate reality leaders, those who were trained to really just sign up, like have their hand held and walk through to sign up. And they teach them how to engage and persuade so that those companies do want to sign up, because it's an economic argument. When you're in Indonesia, when you're in the Philippines, you're not huge emitters. Indonesia, a larger country, but the Philippines in particular, not a big emitting country. So, you know, to reduce emissions, we tell the truth that this is really smart economically for you. This will make your business better and more resilient. And finally, just then take that and continue to spread the word. And this is the type of program, this specific program, we're hoping to branch out in Southeast Asia more. And this is, you know, just an example outside of Indonesia of the type of action that we're hoping for, because I think awareness raising that we've talked about so far, that's the first step. But then the next step, getting to that mobilizing, is really acting in partnership with individuals, with decision makers, for mutual goals, so that you can have a healthy and a wealthy Indonesia. And I don't just mean wealthy with money to be, you know, rich with cash in your pocket, but rich with culture and rich with community. It's important for every country. And I hope that being part of the climate reality community can help that. We won't have a training in Indonesia this year. We are hoping to go somewhere in Southeast Asia next year, and I hope to see all of you there.
Thank you, Ethan. So let's give a big applause to Ethan. We will go to questions and answers. Please stay tuned, Ethan, Leah, Dina, and Darren. But before we go to the question and answer session, we are so impressed by the climb art, right? So we will ask our performer to perform. Darren, do something. Perform.
Okay. Um, can I have everyone's participation? Can everyone stomp? And can everyone clap? And can everyone have stomp, clap, stomp, stomp, clap? With me together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Stomp. And then we repeat it, and we repeat it while I do my own thing, okay? Okay, can I hear it? Ready, and go.
Yay!
That's called my
Thank you.
climate winning dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's climb art. Okay, thank you. Now questions and answers, the serious part. We have 4 speakers, Leah, Dina, Darren, of course, our performer, and Ethan. We are allocated only 2 questions from on-site, from here at America. So I'll take 1 question from my left and 1 question from my right. And then there is a Q&A sheet provided by At America, and I'll just pick one from them. Now, any question from this part? Jangan malu-malu, bahasa Indonesia boleh ya bertanya ya, misalnya, Kak Darren gimana sih bisa keren gitu, nggak apa-apa gitu. Oke, siapa namanya? Silakan. Oh, temannya Darren ya?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I have a question specifically regarding climb art again, because as a performer as well, I find that to be really interesting. My question is, how would you implement climb art to integrate it with Indonesian art form to make it more interesting for Indonesian audiences? Yes.
Ooh, that's tough.
Thank you. What was your name? Anya. Thank you, Anya, for the question. Of course, with climb art, we do have our ideas of implementing new programs, new events. One of them being we wanted to have this gallery that full of visual arts and stuff, and have like an open mic kind of thing where people can just, if they want to recite their poem, if they want to just sing, or if they just want to tell a story, that they can. But to your question, how do we implement that with Indonesian art? So I would think that it could be like from an Indonesian instrumental, like for example like gamelan, angklung, or maybe we can incorporate wayang and in traditional songs. So definitely there are songs, there are dances, and there are other types of art that I think speaks to the environment movement. So it would be fun if we can do a production where we have that event of using maybe like wayang or doing those things, and then incorporate it with what's relevant with the audience, which is the Indonesians, right? So that would be a dream of mine, to make that as a reality here at Climate Reality Indonesia.
Yay.
And yeah, I would love to be part of that. And if you two have ideas and want to be part of it, we are more than welcome. It's open doors for everyone to contribute and to join us as part of this movement.
Thank you. Leah, you could answer that as well because she knows lots of Indonesian traditional dances and also dangdutan, right? Indonesian songs. How do you
Yeah,
answer
Bu,
that
that's
question?
yeah, we actually need like some dangdut song talking about climate, right? I think that would be cool. I think Darren make it right on point, but for me, art can be very personal too. Everyone have emotions, and everyone can express those emotions through art. So I don't want to like limit, expression of art only for self-identified performers or like all the real artists, even though they're really important to like bring their awareness because they probably have their own audiences, right? Movie maker, dancer, famous painters, a singer, they've already have audiences too. So maybe climate reality can engage with those artists from different background, to talk about climate, to maybe like share some of the most important things that they need to know that they haven't know already yet. And afterwards, let them express their understanding of the climate crisis that we are in through their art, because like art is like very expressive. And it needs creativity of the artists themselves. So I wouldn't know what like those artists will produce, right? I'm looking forward to be surprised by that, because that could be very enlightening. But also for each of us, like I'm not a good painter, so I won't do painting. I'll probably stick to dancing or like playing drums. Or if any of you can like drawing manga or what bouquet flower or knitting or whatever, the one that can like share your expression, your thought, your emotions, your ideas, innovations about climate crisis and climate actions, then you can like definitely try to share that with yourself. If you don't want to like share it with others, but also would be great to also share it with others, so then you can contribute to the wider global movement for climate actions.
Thank you, Kakak Leah. Forgot to tell you all that Leah is a drummer. She's an accomplished drummer. Okay, climate drummer. Di sisi sini ada pertanyaan, this side. It can be in bahasa Indonesia, silakan deh. Oke, silakan.
Um, okay, so I have a question. Throughout this seminar, I've only heard about how to fix the climate change with forests and like. But then I wonder, is there any way to help the climate change? Because it also affects the Arctic, the North Pole, South Pole, like the polar bears losing their habitat and the other Arctic animals. Are there any ways to help them? Okay, that's all.
Thank you. I think namanya siapa deh? What's your name?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. I think you can answer this, Ethan. Her question is, all we hear about is about forests. What about the Arctic's animals? What can we do to help them? So Ethan, that's your portion.
Well, I think the forests are part of that because when forests are destroyed, burned down, it not only adds emissions from the burning of the forest, but it also takes away nature's ability to pull carbon out of the air. So a tree, through its photosynthesis, it takes carbon dioxide out of the air, it turns it into oxygen that we breathe, and it uses it just to grow more, to become a bigger, healthier tree. So protecting forests is a big way to ensure that the world's climate is not warming to a level that would destroy the habitat of any Arctic animal. But it's also about reducing emissions in total. So moving from power that's electricity that's powered by coal, or industry that's powered by coal or gas, moving that to renewable energy. And what you can do about that is to work with your decision makers. I mean, Indonesia still has a lot of fossil fuel emissions. It's cheaper, because it's already existing power, but in the grand scheme of things, it will save money to change to renewable energy right now. So it's better for Indonesia for the growth of the country. It's better for Indonesia for the health of people in Jakarta and in other cities, that they're not, inhaling emissions. And it's better for the world because it means that we have fewer greenhouse gas emissions in the air, that warming will at least slow. And if we can do this together as a globe, countries like mine, the United States, other so-called developed countries, we have a bigger burden to reduce those emissions and a bigger responsibility than Indonesia does. But we are all in this together. And the more that you can work with decision makers at any level, at the community level, at a business level, at the national level, the more that you can work with them to assist them in achieving the goals that they have for reducing emissions, the better off we'll be. Because, like Leah said, this is changing big policies is important here. Working as an individual is very important, but if we want to get to the scale that's necessary, that 45 to 50% reduction in emissions by 2030, it's going to take big action that big policies, big laws to protect the forest, to reduce emissions, etc. So that's the best way to do it.
Thank you, Ethan. Jasmine, jadi jelas ya jawabannya itu semua memang harus berbuat. Jadi even apa yang kita lakukan dengan hutan kita pun juga, tapi kebijakan juga penting ya, peraturan, perundang-undangan dan lain sebagainya. Okay, so this event is broadcasted through Zoom, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. We have questions from the social media as well. And I'm going to raise one question here that we rarely talk about. And I'll give the opportunity to all of you, all four of the speakers, to answer this question from Annabelle on Instagram. She said, how can we promote sustainable agriculture and food production to mitigate the environmental impact of the agriculture industry? So I'll repeat the question. How can we promote sustainable agriculture and food production to mitigate the environmental impact of the agriculture industry? I know maybe agriculture is not your field, but it relates to all of us. So anybody who would like to answer first? Dina?
Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Maybe I'm going to start regarding agriculture. It's really in our plate. Maybe we can start to choose what we eat maybe because we are the one who decide what we're going to eat like today and everyday choices. And your food is really attached to your daily life. So I think how you choose the food that you are eating, I think at some points it's gonna lead to, from the customer, we can drive the choices, how they produce their food. If we, raise our voice, we want food that less carbon emission, maybe plant-based or any other option that really less in carbon. I think we can start from us, from our daily choices of our food, and then we can, if we do that together, I think we can drive them to change how they produce the food that we are eating. I think that's from my end, Bu Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Leah, what's your take on this question?
I think it will be the same for every topics on climate change, right? Because it's everywhere. It's like what my slide before, simple and clear messages So the one that Mbak Dina has just shared, you know, simple and clear messages related to our own, you know, personal experience, such as this is what we eat, but do you know where your food coming from, right? You know, does it has any impact to the environment? Is it good for your health, etc., etc.? So make it personal by simple, clear messages, and then repeat it often, because like we are competing with many other you know noises out there by trusted voices, right? Like who is the trusted messenger here, and then with compassion as well. So I think if you like we can find you know we can apply this principle in try to communicate any topics related to climate change. I think it would have better chance to reach wider audience and that message to be accepted. So I think that's for me, Bu Amanda.
Darren?
So for me, I think I agree with Kadina and Kalia as well. But it all comes down to being a responsible consumer. And how to do that is in two ways. The first one is the one that I also always been doing. I never not finish my food. I always have a clean plate after I eat. And I think that is simple, but I think, you know, it comes to food waste. And then again, we have a lot of food waste here in Indonesia itself. And that's one thing. And the second thing is that if you want to buy something like food or any like raw ingredients, go to maybe your local grocery store or a local traditional store. And there, you know, because when it's when it's local, you know that your food is getting transported in a shorter distance, so that compared to like the imported goods, you know, the local food is producing less CO2. So that is two simple ways that you all can do starting from tonight, tomorrow.
So always have a clean plate, right? Thanks, Darren. Ethan?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the things I would suggest have already been said. Choosing to eat local, choosing to eat a more plant-based diet, and speaking about that with people in your community. And then I guess the only thing I would add is in part of being a responsible consumer, to do a little bit of research and understand which companies don't source their products from recently deforested lands, for example, which companies have maybe signed up for a commodity roundtable or another sustainability plan that that encourages them or commits them to sourcing their agriculture products in a sustainable way.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you so much. Let's give a big applause to all the speakers. We still have time for another Mentimeter question. It's very much appreciated because hundreds of inputs for our events, and we will be sure to note everything down and to try to share it with our climate reality leaders. So go to www.menti.com, and that's the code 45841485. Darren, Leah, Dina, and Ethan, please participate as well. Okay. So what's the first question? What are some innovative solutions from individuals or communities to combat the climate crisis? Apa saja solusi yang inovatif dari individu atau komunitas untuk melawan krisis iklim? Okay. What are some innovative solutions from individuals or communities to combat the climate crisis? Apa saja solusi inovatif dari individu atau komunitas? Wow, untuk melawan krisis iklim. Oh, that's good. Darren, it's your turn to read.
Meatless Mondays. Reboization. Art. Make it a competition. Interesting. Zero waste grocery stores. Build empathy. Mass transportation. Coldplay.
Coldplay.
Not sure why. Kesadaran diri.
Yeah, there is one
Self-awareness.
like Pandawa group. What is it?
Menanam. Jalanin RRR. Or reduce your use recycle. Use electric car. Habit take the tree.
Finish your food. It's yours, right?
Finish. That's mine.
Graffiti. I like that. Graffiti. Graffiti.
Permainan daerah.
Only 62 responses. Come on, guys. We need more.
To make gamification.
Bike to work. Segregate your waste. Sustainable lifestyle. Fun communication.
Walk more.
An event or a festival. Come on, we only have 66.
Eco home living.
Menanam, yeah, plant something. Don't depend on technology, katanya. Jangan bergantung pada teknologi. Yeah, we can depend on traditional solution, right? Traditional wisdom.
Stop mind TikTok. And focus on the reality. Ban plastic bags. Musyawarah, important.
Layangan yang didaur ulang. Recycle kites.
Interesting.
That's a new thing.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, that's
Personal
good.
Branding.
Investing in low carbon.
Fasting.
Fasting?
Hmm.
Okay. What else? Anti what? Personal branding on eco. I like that. Kurangi rumah kaca. Gas rumah kaca ya, adik-adik, teman-teman. Reduce greenhouse gases. Okay. What is it?
Communities collaboration. That's a good one.
Okay. All right. We have 84, 85. Not bad. Okay. Let's go to the second question. What will you do to help address the climate crisis? Apa yang akan Anda lakukan untuk membantu menyikapi perubahan iklim? Anda ya, individu Anda sendiri. TikTok content, be vegan.
Shop from local stores.
Mengedukasi masyarakat, educate the society, that's good. Dakwah. Dakwah bahasa Inggris apa ya? Sermon, preach, ya. Yeah. Okay. Change habit, be courageous. Stop breathing.
I mean, berdoa.
Pray. Oh my goodness, I love this non-technical solutions.
Mr. Edukasi masyarakat.
Mr. Beast. What does that mean? Do you know, Darren?
No.
Siapa yang bilang Mr. Beast? Mungkin dari ini ya, online ya, Mr. Beast. And that's in the middle, how come?
The most famous influencer in the world right now, probably one of those.
Oh.
So we can get Mr. Beast to share about climate change, probably.
Okay, so it means I'm kudet ya. I'm not updated. Okay.
Pandawa is also good. Pandawa is also influencers from Indonesia, like 5 young people from Bandung, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Leah, you are so updated.
It's all online.
Okay. Ikut lambe turah ya. Okay, collaborate, telling the truth. So, that's all from the Mentimeter. We still have a few minutes time, and I would like to have not really a closing statement, but a statement from all the speakers about our event today, either your impression or your suggestions for us what to do next. Darren.
Whatever that is that you're good at doing it, do it for the environment as well.
Yay. Okay, applause for Darren. Ethan, do you have a statement or a suggestion for all of us? on anything?
I think just have the courage to be a leader in your community. Efforts like that and taking on a difficult challenge is something that inspires people and builds momentum. And that's what we need right now is just momentum towards taking action.
Thank you, Ethan. Dina?
Yeah, I think for me, just because today is the launching day of the book, I think I'm going to encourage you to read the book because sometimes doing actions for climate can feel lonely. So just read the book and then you find yourself in one of the stories because the stories is many stories out there and they do things in their own capacity and their opportunity and many backgrounds there. So you'll find yourself there and do not feel alone doing this because we're together to find solutions for climate. Thank you.
Thanks, Dina. Leah?
Climate change is real. It's caused by us. Experts agree it is bad, but there is hope. And then we can help spread climate change action through simple, clear messages, repeated often. That's why I'm repeating it now. By various trusted messengers with compassion. And one more thing, because you're all will have voting power, ya, hak pilih, memilih presiden, legislatif, whatever, gubernur, whatever, yang bisa dipilih langsung. Please use your vote wisely. Find out more about their plan on climate actions and climate policies. Choose the one that have the most ambitions on climate change. If none of them don't have any, ask them, demand why not. We want more climate action. This is very important. This is your power. Each of you has power to make the change, starting from that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So everybody gave their statement, right? And we are at the end of our event. Thank you so much, everybody. Before I would like to return this to the MC. And after that, I would like to have climate reality leaders come up because we need to have a photo op of all climate reality leaders, those who have been trained by Al Gore. And then we'll have time for catching up with all colleagues in this room.
All right, it is true that the global climate action starts with us. Can we give a big round of applause to all of our speakers and moderators? Thank you so much for sharing lots of insights tonight. We hope that tonight's session could bring lots of insights for you all. And earlier in the event, we had a trivia question, and the question was, which of the following international agreements aims to combat climate change by reducing greenhouse gas emissions? Is it A, Paris Agreement, B, Kyoto Protocol, C, Montreal Agreement, or D, Rio Convention? And the correct answer to that is A. Yes, correct. The correct answer is A, Paris Agreement. And shout out to @Desi Sagala from Instagram for being the fastest to answer it correctly. Thank you so much for everyone else who has participated. For more updates, don't forget to check out our social media. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram @ATAmerica. You can also go through our website at www.atamerica.or.id. Again, with that, it is time to say goodbye. My name is Adila. I will see you at the next @America event. Thank you, everyone. Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Silakan climate leaders naik ke atas.